you guys, I'm Morticia. This is my sister Ophelia, and we are here. I kind of have her here for moral support. It's really hard for me to talk about this. It's the most disturbing, frightening, paranormal story of like vanishing objects, and we've told a lot of paranormal stuff on here, but this is very hard for me because I wouldn't believe me. I would not believe me, and I've seen a lot of stuff on YouTube that I thought was out there, and before YouTube I met people that would say stuff like, you know, I don't want to say stuff that they said, and then if people agree, they're going, I believe that too. But, you know, you just meet people, and they'll tell you this stuff, and you feel like, okay, you're out there. You're out there on a limb, and something's wrong with you. And when this happened to me, I felt like if I told it, I would be one of them. And I didn't want to be something that makes me feel like not flattering toward others. You know, I don't want to be that. So it's really hard to talk about because I wouldn't believe me. So it's scary for me to say that they're my sister, you're from moral support. Okay. So
I was there then too.
She was there, and she can go, yes, this happened. Okay. If you guys are new, subscribe, check out all our spooky playlists because we're your one-stop spooky shop channel for everything. And right now with it being near Halloween, it's all about Halloween too. So hang out with us and do that, and I will leave our paranormal weird tales playlist below. Like, some of them are obviously paranormal, most of them, but some of them are just like weird things that happened, like me getting her kicked out of school because of my answering machine, which had nothing to do with her or her school, and that is real. Not paranormal, just real and weird and unbelievable, but true.
And it happened to us.
Yes, it did. All the weird things that happened to us are like
Weird.
Video worthy, yeah, weird. Okay, so here goes, you guys. I usually don't ramble and take forever to get into a video, but this one hard for me, okay? Be patient. Okay, but it's good. It started on a regular, ordinary day, just like any other. I was sitting on a couch, much like this one. It was also red, but it was puffier. But it was also a love seat, I think. Yes, okay. We were in California, and in our apartment there in Riverside at the time. And I was wearing 4 necklaces, oddly enough, just like I am now, all different lengths. That's creepy. I didn't do that on purpose. Oh, God. Okay, so I was wearing 4 necklaces, but they didn't touch each other because they're layered. You know, one shorter, the other one slightly longer, etc., okay? And my favorite necklace was on the longest chain. And this is relevant. And my favorite necklace is one of those there are necklaces where they have like a jump ring that moves at the top where it can kind of swing, and then there are necklaces where the setting is one solid piece with the stone. Like, it won't swing or move. The jump ring will not move. It's like a solid piece. This was a wire wrap, so it was one solid piece. There was no little ring that could come apart and make the necklace come off, is my point.
And it was a good wire wrap. I've never had anything that we've gotten from that place come out of its wrap ever.
Thunderbird Crystals in San Antonio, Texas. They's amazing in wholesale. I'm going to insert a picture just for fun of a tourmalated quartz that I have from them just to show you the wire wrap. The pendant I was wearing was a citrine, and it was a different, it was bigger, but this is how the wire wrap looked. Very sturdy, very good.
Like a lightning bolt, actually.
Yeah, it does. It had lightning bolt up the sides. And so that's how that looks. There's a point to me going into all this, okay? And this is how the actual citrine looked. This is a pendant, a picture of a pendant of Ophelia's. This setting is not like mine. I'm just showing you how their citrines looked. This is a wand pendant that we asked them to custom make, actually. So this has nothing to do with mine other than these 2 citrines in here were the kind of citrine I was wearing at the time. So, just a little bit of interesting psychic reference if you're feeling anything. But my pendant was a citrine like hers, but in a wire wrap like the tourmalated quartz. Now, I'm wearing 4 necklaces. I'm sitting there talking to her. I'm sitting on my love seat. She's in a chair. I'm saying how much I love my necklace, and I'm holding it and cuddling it like this. Like, oh, it's my favorite. I just love it. And at the time, I was very attached to it, and I believed, because citrine does luck. It's one of its properties is luck and success. It's like the merchant stone, they call it. And I went to LA one weekend, and I left this citrine at home, and I had the weekend from hell. It was bad. It was very bad. And we all had the weekend from hell. We all suffered because I left my citrine at home. Wasn't it a bad weekend? Like, our bus tickets got stolen while we were on the bus. It was a return trip, and I'm just like, no. I mean, that's how it started. If it's bad, like, before you even get there, it's bad. And I thought, oh my God, it's because I left my citrine at home. I'm never leaving that stone again. I'm never going away without that stone again ever. And I was very attached to it. I never took it off. That probably wasn't a good thing, but I'm giving the background. So I'm loving all over my citrine, telling her and it how much I love it, how wonderful it is. Then I stopped doing that, put it down. It's still hanging on my neck on its chain. And I go to make coffee, and she calls a friend of hers, and we had cordless phones. This wasn't cell, okay? It wasn't that long ago, but it wasn't. So we're both on a cordless phone. She's like, do you want to talk to Shannon with me? I'm like, sure. I pick up the other phone, and we're both talking. Ophelia went in her bedroom, so the phone doesn't get loud in your ear, you know, while somebody else is on another one. Like, oh God, I feel so old. It wasn't that long ago. Okay. So we're both on the phone with this girl, and she's in her bedroom, and I'm in the kitchen. And I'm standing at the kitchen counter stirring coffee. I made an instant cappuccino. I remember, I think it was vanilla. That kind of square container, you know?
Oh, wow. Yeah.
I'm telling you, you guys, I remember
Hills Brothers, the really big version of International Coffee.
All right. And see, I remember this because when something really scary happens to your mind, you kind of remember everything about that day in stark detail. Like, I remember this real well. There's no maybe this happened, maybe that happened. When we tell the really creepy story about the burglar, I might have gotten some events, like I think she corrected me on which way something happened or whatever. Okay, you would think getting your house broken into would terrorize you, but not like this. This, I remember every detail in stark clarity. So, I'm stirring the Hills Brothers coffee. I forgot it was Hills Brothers, but okay. And I'm stirring it. I was going to bring her cup, so I'm doing mine and hers because I'm the one in the kitchen. And I feel these two light tugs on my necklace. Tug, tug. Two just gentle tugs right in a row. That fast. Tug, tug. And I thought, well, what could my necklace possibly be caught on? What could any of my necklaces possibly be caught on? But it was the longest one. It was a little bit, like probably 28, 30 inches long. And I'm thinking, but I'm not, like my stove was lower. So I'm thinking I'm not near where my necklaces could be caught. That's weird. What's up with that? So I put the phone down on the counter, and I'm running my hands over the chains to see what happened. Like, what's going on? And I get down, and my citrine's chain is empty. The necklace is not on the chain. All the other 3 necklaces I was wearing are fine. By the way, I remember each of those other 3 necklaces. I'm quite aware. It's weird. I know everything. I was wearing a garnet. I was wearing a quartz point, and I was wearing a hamsa that Gomez sent me that looks like a mushroom because he wasn't here yet. He was still overseas because he foreign. So anyway, so I'm like just sitting here running my hands around and around and around this empty chain going in my head. What?
It wasn't broken. The chain
no, the chain is
broken.
Closed. The pendant is gone. And the way that setting was, the pendant could not have just come off the chain. There wasn't a link, like I said, that holds, you know, like a jump ring that you can pry open. It was one solid piece of metal. And it was connected. It was, I guess, you know, you can't open it with pliers or anything like you could a jump ring. You can't, it's one solid, it's not swinging back and forth. There's no way to get it off that chain.
Without taking the whole thing off.
Right, with that chain staying closed. Or not broken.
Yeah.
There's no way to remove that pendant physically without the chain breaking or opening, which did not happen. By the way, since weed is legal everywhere and I don't like it, I was not high. Because I'm thinking, like, what would I think? This person had to be missing something. Maybe I was high. No, I was not. I don't do that. I had no alcohol in my system. I had nothing in my system. About to have some more coffee. I don't even remember. I guess I drank it. I don't even know.
Yeah, I was going to ask if we drank it.
I guess. I don't know. I was so upset. Okay, so.
I'm sure I did.
I picked up the phone. After I ran my hand over it several times, I'm thinking, I don't know why I thought it could have gotten to the back of my neck at this point when I felt a tug. But my mind is trying to look for explanations. So I'm going, maybe it's back here in my hair? Like, no. So I'm running my hands around this chain several times. I didn't know what the chain looked like. It was a flat, kind of with flat links, kind of wide. I had to give the chain to a friend, but that's a different story. I'll get to that later. So I picked up the phone, and in this calm, kind of weird voice, probably, because it got her off the phone too, I said, I've got to go. My citrine's gone. And I hung up. Because I couldn't handle, I'm not conversing anymore at this point. Like,
And I was confused, like nobody was there. What
Yeah,
are you
how is our
talking
citrine
about?
gone? And she knew what I was talking about, which citrine in question.
Oh,
you know?
the citrine,
Yeah,
yes.
that citrine was an important part of my jewelry and existence. So she knew, but she's like, what does she mean gone? Like, that's a weird thing to say when only the two of us are here. I got to go. So she gets off the phone and comes in and is like, what are you talking about, basically? And I told her what I just told you. And she's like, but. So we searched the kitchen. Now, let me explain to you. This happened very intentionally because if it had hit the kitchen is the only floor in that apartment that has, other than the bathroom, like just straight linoleum. So, first of all, the stone could not have come off. Okay, but if it did, without the chain breaking or opening, if it did, which again, there's no way, but we're skipping that, it would hit the floor and I would have heard it. There was no music, there was nothing going on since I was on the phone. I would have heard it. And again, why the two tugs? What are these two tugs on my chain about? And so this happened in this room where I knew, would have known that it couldn't have gotten lost, very intentionally, I think. And I'm starting to process that. Like, we looked, we searched it. There's nothing on the floor, nothing anywhere. It's a little kitchen. There's only so far it could be. No. So it's just dawning on me that this is really happening. My stone was taken somehow by some force bigger than human, because that should not be possible, off my neck without breaking the chain or opening it. Not possible. That's when I started to cry hysterically. A lot. I don't cry. I'm not a crier. I'm more like a guy. I know I look pretty. I like my girly stuff, but my mind is more like a guy. I'm very logical, very orderly. I don't get emotional, and I kind of don't handle emotion well when I do, because I'm going, but that doesn't make sense, Morticia. Whatever. I just don't handle it well. So for me to cry and cry and cry is not normal, but it was just impossible, and my brain didn't know how to deal. And I knew, like I said, that this is unbelievable. It's not possible, but obviously it just happened. So what the hell am I going to do with that? What am I going to do with that? And my favorite pendant's gone, so I'm upset about that. That's level 2. Level 3, because my favorite pendant was taken out of 4, I feel attacked. That meant a lot to me, okay? And 5, whoever did this / whatever did this, it can take anything. If it took that pendant off of that chain, off my neck, it can take another one. It can take something off the table. It can take my right arm. I mean, whatever. That was scary. I was just like, something is coming to me for whatever reason and saying, just so you know, I'm taking your citrine and I can take anything I want, since I did take this in a way that was very impossible. I didn't wait till, any other way that the chain could have broken or anything. I took this in a way that is not possible in your realm of knowledge. So my whole realm of belief in what I thought was possible was shaken. I want to say I grew up in a haunted house. So I've seen ghost activity. Now, if the chain had unclasped itself and the citrine had slid down and just vanished.
I've had that happen before, minus the vanishing part.
I can handle that because a ghost could have manipulated air and unclasped the chain. So it's not just that something took my citrine. The ghosts in the house I grew up in from 10 to 17 would take stuff all the time. And sometimes not give it back, sometimes give it back after I got mad and threatened her with an exorcism or whatever. So it's not like I can't believe in ghostly, paranormal activities, whatever. It's like metal passing through metal. Someone told me later they thought whatever did it dispersed the particles in the citrine and its setting, and that's how they got it off. But what the hell can dispersed particles do? Like, really? That was scary. And I called my mommy first, because I called my mommy. And, hi, mommy. And I said, hysterical, Mommy, this happened and my citrine's gone and this thing took my citrine and this happened this way, I was just making coffee and it got taken off my neck and the chain was closed and that shouldn't be possible, and I just pour out this story in high hysterics. And the first thing my mom said was, who did you tick off? And I'm like, that was not good, that was not soothing me. Nobody, I don't think I did anything to anybody, because I'm so gentle and nice. But I'm just like, in a way, that sounds like wow, but in a way, it really touched me because my mama believed me. She did not question. She didn't say, well, I'm sure it fell somewhere, honey, because I would have said, bull crap, it fell. There was 2 tugs. It's not on the chain is closed. It was there like 10 seconds before. Why? And there's no way it could have fallen. And then we cleaned out the kitchen. It wasn't there. Okay. But, like, we're looking in the refrigerator. I mean, it got weird. Just because your mind is trying to deal, you know.
And yes, we looked in that pan in the stove, you know, the bottom thing.
Yeah. And I started thinking, like, my head would fill in gaps. Like, what if it got caught? What if the chain got caught on the stove? Like, my mind just couldn't handle this. So, first of all, if the chain got caught on the stove, the chain would have snapped. The stone and its setting all would not have come off instead, leaving the chain intact because this thing is soldered closed or whatever, okay? No. And second of all, when I went to try to reenact it, if that were even possible, which we already just covered 5 seconds ago, no, I would have had to lay down with my face on the stove like this. And then again, the chain would have caught on the stove and it would have broken. There was nothing near me that this thing could have caught on height-wise. It was several inches above everything, okay? No one else was there. And again, if somebody was there, if you was there, you could not have taken it off my neck with the chain closed. Not even with pliers. I mean, this thing is a round, solid ring with no opening.
And I think she would have noticed.
Yeah, no way to make one. Yeah, I would have noticed. But there's no way to do it. And my mom, we're still in the conversation with my mom. My mom said the 2 tugs pretty much meant they wanted me to know. I said, I was trying to pick it apart. Again, I've been called Spock by my friends. Although I don't really care about sci-fi. Or superheroes randomly. Okay. But I'm sitting here going, but Mom, did they remove it by having to pull it twice? Is it some kind of way they detached it? And my mom's like, I don't think so. She said, I think they just pulled it like that because they wanted you to know it was gone right then. So you couldn't decide it happened another way, another place, and logic it. She's like, they wanted you to know right then that it was gone right now. And so those 2 tugs were just, hey, just get your attention real quick. Guess what I just took? Oh, and I love my mom so much for believing me and for, you know, having opinions and input. It just, and every friend I told, I mean, like, believed me. And I'm just, like, I was so humbled, and I was in tears. And I was just, why do you believe me? I'm crying for 4 days straight. Ophelia can tell you, if you ask me how I'm doing, I'm crying. Like, just, you say anything to me, I'm crying. And I had a psychic friend come over, and he touched the chain, and he goes, whatever did that is bigger than anybody I've ever seen because it didn't leave any impression. No psychic, nothing. Nothing is on this chain.
And when you came over, he looked also...
Yeah, everybody. We had our housekeeper tear the kitchen apart. We had him tear the house apart. I mean, several people. Another friend came over, tore the house apart. I mean, like... just in case anybody overlooked. But let's skip to, it's not possible that it came off the chain, so how the hell was it lost in your house? That's cool, but, you know, we keep skipping the obvious because the mind does not want to accept. So if you're thinking, but why are you looking for it? You just said it was impossible that it came off. I just hoped I'd find it and maybe see how the metal got warped or see. I don't know I don't know. It wasn't logic anymore. It was my favorite pendant's gone. I can't explain this. This does not need to be possible. I don't know how it came off. It shouldn't have come off. So if I had accepted that, there would have been no looking for it because it wasn't possible for it to even come off. So therefore, I would draw the conclusion that it's long gone. But
she looked for it everywhere, like even in her hairbrush.
I was doing crazy stuff.
Like I could not figure out, and she couldn't either how I could have
got
it.
I said if I was brushing my hair, I don't know how, if it was like hanging down way here, and it somehow got caught in the hairbrush and came off. But again, the stone would have come out of the setting. That setting would not have come off that chain. That chain would have had to break. And I wasn't brushing my hair the last time I saw it. I was in the bloody kitchen making coffee, and there were 2 tugs, and it was gone. But I'm saying the mind just really needs to reset when it can't handle something that inexplicable. And that's kind of one reason I wanted to share it. Just like the mind really will try to disbelieve what it knows. And it's a very scary thing, and I'm very logical, and I even said, this is ridiculous. Why am I looking here? I just need to find it. I need this to be something. I need to be wrong about this. I'm sorry I'm making you sleepy. She knows this story. She lived through it. I swear, weeks later, I'm sitting there going, we'd be talking about something else, because sometimes you have to move on, and I would go, Ophelia, my citrine's gone.
My citrine.
She's like, I am aware.
And she kept asking me, like, I guess rhetorically, but I think she wanted to answer, where is it? It's here.
Yeah, she said it keeps feeling like it's here. Like, she's like, I feel like it's here. Like, psychically, it feels like the energy is here of the citrine. So maybe it was dispersed and still left floating in the house. I don't know. But that place was torn apart several times. And when we moved several years later, it was torn apart some more. And we found a crystal and a labradorite that went behind a shelf that I beloved and was very happy to find. But that thing was never found because, again, if it came off the chain like that, that's not possible. It's gone. We know it's gone. But my friends all believed me. And friends that are into the paranormal, friends that are not into the paranormal, everybody believed me. And I was just, why do you believe me? Like, it made it even harder almost. Like, and they said, because we know you, and you don't say crazy stuff, you don't tell wild stories, you're very logical, you're very, you know, if it is paranormal, you have, you know, other witnesses, and you have explanations, and, you know, like the haunted house, people saw that ghost. That ghost would make sure it was known. I will link it was like a couple years ago of October where I talked about that haunted house. If you do not believe in ghosts, you came to that house, you would. You would believe. She made sure you believed.
Didn't she throw stuff?
She would throw stuff. Like, she would throw coins and stuff at you from across the room. Like, if it was just me and you here, she would throw stuff from way over there where nobody was to prove that it wasn't me screwing with you. Like, it's her. Wow. Different things like that. And one of my friends wouldn't go to the bathroom because she said she heard her moaning and was afraid to go to the bathroom.
Hi, Ella.
Yeah, no. Don't talk to that ghost all night. No.
Oh.
I think you took her across or something, didn't you? But she
did,
needs to have stayed her ass across. Okay, so, mild diversion. But I was so, afraid, you guys. I was upset about losing my pendant. I could not explain how I lost my pendant. Those were two blows. And I was afraid because, again, who did this? Why'd you do this? And what are you going to do now? Nothing was ever taken again. So I'm wondering if it was like a guide or somebody powerful but benevolent that thought I was depending on that too much, and that also wanted to show me that, you know, there are more things in heaven and earth, Horatio. And I did believe in the paranormal, magic and everything, but I didn't believe enough, I guess, because that shattered my little mind. And it doesn't mean I believe everything now. I'm still pretty skeptical because, you know, your mind's too open, everything falls out. But I believe that a lot more is possible than I, you know, obviously used to believe. And, like, I wrote Gomez about it, obviously, and he said he could tell from my email, you know, that I was hysterical and upset. He's like, you got to calm down. And even him, and I was not offended, even he thought, you know, that's what I thought happened, but maybe something else had to have happened. That was his first reaction. And I said, you know what, I'm not offended, because I would have thought the same thing, but no, there's no other way, and that's why they did it like that. There's no other way anything else could have happened, and they made sure that I had no room for doubt. It's not my belief, it's that there's no other way. And that was just really, really hard. And that's why it's really hard to talk about, because if you're like, I don't believe you, no hate comments, please, or no, like, that's crazy, just because I told myself that enough in the beginning, but it was still true, and it still was what it was. And it's hard for me to make this video because I did not think people would believe me. So if you don't believe me, to quote Meghan Trainor, go ahead and move along. Just don't comment. It's okay. I don't really expect anything. I just thought I would share the most disturbing paranormal thing that happened. Maybe to show you guys that, you know, again, there are more things in heaven and earth, and you never know. And that was a multi-layer, as Gomez put it later, a multi-layer lesson. Whoever wanted me to learn this, you know, wanted several things proven in one little fell swoop, as it were. Poor Citrine. I've never been able to bond with a citrine after for several years, and now I do have some. If anybody watched the summer hauls where I got a bunch of citrine and made a ton of stuff out of it, like raw citrines. The citrines look way different, and they feel different energy-wise, and I don't depend on them. I don't feel like I have to always wear them to have good luck or to have things go my way. I have learned my lesson. But for a while, I just couldn't have citrine at all. And I gave the chain to a friend of mine, my friend Tanya in New Zealand. I was like, we would send each other trade packages. I'd be like, girl, I'm sending you this chain because if you want it, ask her. I was even like, you know, what if she don't want it? I was like, do you want it? And she's like, well, sure, it's a nice chain. You know, whatever. It didn't happen to me. It won't bother me. I said, that's cool, because every time I touched it and tried to wear stuff on it, because it was a nice chain. I tried to wear stuff on it. I just couldn't. Like, it would bother me, and I would think too much. And it didn't have bad energy on it. It didn't have any energy. Like my friend said, who was psychic, that came and touched it. It had nothing. He's not a hugger, y'all, and he hugged me. I was crying. I'm not a hugger either. I was just so hysterical. Like, this was a few days later, and I'm just, ah! And, you know, at that point, I was still scared. So, yeah, I mean, we didn't, and then when it happened, if you're wondering if I felt any weird vibes or Ophelia did, we felt nothing. No. Whatever that was strong enough not to leave nothing. You know, Mom asked if anything changed in the room, if the shadows changed. Nothing changed. The two things that changed were the two tugs on my chain, and then the citrine was gone, which was definitely a change. But other than that, like, we didn't feel anything amiss in the house, anything evil, anything bad, nothing at all. So, and I did try to go meditate, and it was really hard, and I asked my guides, like, what up, you know, and they just kind of looked at me like, I don't know, what you think? And that's when I started thinking, like, maybe you know, they didn't do it, but it was somebody else who was kind of trying to say you need to quit depending on stones and do it yourself. Stones, if you guys believe in that, if you don't, whatever. Stones and crystals and stuff, they have properties, they have energies, they do things, but they're like helpers, you know, they'll help you do it, but you need to do it. And nobody or a stone can do it for you. You know, you have to be your power, and then they can be little boosters or little augmenters as long as you're doing most of the work. I can wear a stone for luck, but I need to be channeling lucky energy for myself foremost, you know, for example, or whatever. And that's how that works. And I think that was one thing other than the anything is possible kind of thing I was supposed to understand.
Yeah, I think her logical self was supposed to learn that some things just can't be logicked.
Yeah, because I'm thinking, I kept saying, metal can't pass through metal, because from my head, with that sturdy setting, like this dragon setting here that I know you can't see, that's why I'm inserting a picture, it's just part of the whole piece, you know? There's no way that's going to come off. I can't open it with pliers. I can't cut it. It's too thick. It's too heavy. Okay, so metal would have to pass through metal for that to come off a chain and the chain stay closed. In my head, that's where I was, and I kept saying that. I even called a friend of mine who's like an atheist, and I was like, Roger, explain this. And I was hysterical, and he's just like, I got nothing. I was like, you explain this away with your there is no magic and no ghosts and no whatever. You explain this. And he's just like, I got nothing. I called everybody. I tried to tell everybody. And I'm still so humbled at the people I love around me and my friends who and family who believed me, because I would have thought they were, if I didn't know you, I'd have probably thought she was cuckoo. If I did know you, I would think, as Gomez said, that you believed that's what happened, but you had to be missing something. You know, just because you misunderstood or you didn't pay attention, or, you know, I mean, I'm sure you believe that, but, you know, no, that's not possible, so therefore you got to be wrong about something. And now he believes, after it really never got found and everything, you know, he's with it, but, you know, that was his first, and I'm cool with that. That's what I would have thought, you know, if people had told me that. And so being believed was very humbling, just like touching and nice, and I needed some niceness, and like it was just got a lot of support and love, and thank you everybody who did. Yeah, but it was weird. I mean, I think it even messed with Ophelia, but she was not as logical as me, so I guess it wasn't as hard, and it wasn't her pendant. So
no.
We can talk about another stone experience she had. She got to keep hers, but that'll be another video soon. So something really creepy did happen that shook her up and made her cry with a stone too. That's okay though. She only cried once, and I was 4 days. She came in crying. Yeah, she knows what I'm talking about. She came in crying. But it'll keep you guys looking forward to our next paranormal video. I'll probably do a jewelry haul and hopefully something Halloween soon. Like, we do more than hauls, but we kind of get a little bit manic on the hauls for Halloween because it's Halloween, and we buy stuff. I want to show you guys if you want it. So yeah, and I have DIYs planned for Halloween soon, so that'll come up. Yeah, so that's what's coming up soon with Jekyllhydeclub and you. Stay spooky, my friends.